understand. We don't seem to always be able to understand how to navigate. And we need someone to help us to navigate what it is and where it is that we're going. So it's important that we have people like you that can help people put the puzzle together, put the pieces together, and be able to direct us, to be able to say, you know what, like you said, that tap on the shoulder, saying, you know what, you are more than, you know, we don't allow our circumstances to dictate. I was talking with a gentleman earlier this afternoon, right? And he's one of my clients, but he's a former NFL player, and he's dealing with, and he and I got into the discussion about CTE, which is, and so I asked him, I was trying to gain some understanding. Of course, we got into the conversation about Antonio Brown. And I was asking him about seeing those things, but he was saying about himself, being diagnosed with CTE or having those symptoms of CTE. He said one of the key components for himself was having key people around him to keep him from being consumed by stress, negativity, you know, because that's what affects a lot of those that have the CTE. They have to have like this bubble of, you know, of not having anything. And he said one of the safeguards, part of the safeguards that they have is he has people that are around him that specifically keep him from having to deal with certain things. So I see you, and when you started talking about that, I see you as one of those people that's a safeguard for people to be able to keep them from having that stress, having those things that can take us down a road that we don't want or need to go down to, that can lead to, you know, stress, that can lead to, you know, suicidal thoughts and all of those other things and everything like that, because they're able to talk to you about dealing with those things, how to deal with them, and how to navigate it, and how to keep it at bay. You know,
and that's why I'm so open about my life too. You know, I don't, you know, I'm very authentic about my life and some of the things that I've, you know, experienced, or, you know, just anything. You know, I'm an open book. If someone asks me a question, or if I feel like there's space and time in my life where something may have happened, and they're talking about it, I'm not that person to be like, that's a shame that happened to you. You know, I'd be like, I went through the same thing, or, you know, I felt the same way, because I think it's important for people to know that they're not alone, you know, and just because of a title or a profession or age, it doesn't mean that you're exempt from experiences or going through things. Yes, you can have a lot of great, wonderful things that happen. I can tell you, you already know so many great stories and experiences that I've had in my life. You know, I've had a good life. And when I say good, it doesn't mean perfect, but I had great moments in life. But I've also had moments where, you know, brought me to my knees, you know? So if I can share a part of me with somebody to let them know that they're not alone, and, you know, just because a woman has on lipstick or a man got a suit jacket on, he got it all together. And that's not, you know, not the case. So the more that people can see that we're more alike than different, or we share experiences, the more that they know, you know, they can handle it or get over it. And it's about encouragement. That's why I say sharing your story is critical for other people, because God doesn't bring you through something or grow through something to hold it to yourself. You're supposed to shout it to the rooftops. Hey, this is what happened. And this is when we start connecting and sharing our stories and our testimonies, then it gives other people courage to share their stories. And it's an effect that's a rippling effect that happens when we're vulnerable and we're able to share the softer sides of us, because that encourages other people to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what got you started writing? When did you start writing?
I honestly don't remember ever being a person that did not write. since I was a little girl. I was writing poems or letters. I started reading. I went to Montessori school, and I started reading when I was 4, something weird like that, young, like 4. I was reading, and they thought that I was the child prodigy, and my mom's friends used to be like, Kendell, read that, because I would just look out the window and just read these words and read the signs, and I was 4. I started like picking up stuff. I don't know how I did. So people were always amazed with that. And when it comes to reading, then you start writing. I've always been a sensitive person. I've always been a person who observed or seen, and I've always had a creative mind, even as a young person. I think my writing started with poetry, and then essays and thoughts and different things like that. Whereas even as a child, I wrote for different I wrote programs, and in high school, I was commissioned to write a poem for graduation and a baccalaureate. And I just think of different things like that were different in cards or expressing myself to people. I would write a lot of letters and different things like that. And then of course goes on to essays and newspaper articles, and then magazine articles, and then your own book. So I honestly don't remember myself not writing. So since I was a child, I loved to write and express myself through words. Like, even though I'm a professional speaker, I go around speaking. And I've been doing it for years, so I can do that. But to me, the written word is so powerful, and I can express myself more. Because sometimes when I speak, I stutter, my brain moves faster than my mouth sometimes because I want to get it out. But when I'm writing, this is really a gift that God gave me. Like, I don't get writer's block at all. I write, it comes out like I studied it. Like, it comes out like a melody, like a sweet, musical note. And all of these words coming together to say something profound or funny, using my humor or my wit or my education, like, it just flows out of me. So I know it's of God. Like, I never sit and like, oh, what should I write? Once I get to that piece of paper or get to that computer, it flows. So I know that's, a God-given gift.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Now, I'm gonna ask you this question. You might have to think a little bit. The first part of it, you want to think about. I'm actually, the first part of the question is, how many books have you written? And then what is the one word to
say that again? I didn't hear the first part.
Is how many books have you written?
Okay.
And then the second part is, what is one word that you would use to describe your writing style?
Okay, I had to write down the books because I always forget. So I'll do it first. One word, if I had to say, it would be honest. My writing is very honest. So that would be the word for my writing style. And how many books? So I wrote a novel in 2005. Outside of like little articles and different things, that was my first published book in 2005. It was a novel. I did 3 self-empowerment books, 3 compilation books which I was a part of. Most recently, anthology for Black women, Black girl activists. And currently, I'm or should I wait to talk about what I'm doing now?
No, well, we'll get to that, because I am going to ask you what you got coming up next.
So 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 were compilation of that.
I love that.
Because I forget, so that's why I was like, I need to write it down just in case he asks.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, what made you want to write this particular book that we're talking about? My personal journey of peace. Yeah. What made you want to write that book, that journal?
So this was, and it's much thicker than this, but as you see all the notes, this was like the first copy, and it was some mistakes. This says not for resale, but my personal journey of peace. That's interesting because I was on my own personal journey of peace. And I was doing a 10-day video to show some of the things I do to bring about peace, or for how people can do it. Like as a life coach, and I do content. So I was doing that. I did a 10-day video, I guess a blog, if you will. And then I was like, people were looking at it. I said, I think I'm going to turn this not even into a book, but a workbook journal. And I said, I want this big journal, like old school, when you're in school, them big, thick books, those workbooks that you open up and you really get to write, not like a little journal like this. I wanted to really have somebody like open it up and stretch out and write. So I said, and do their self-work. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make it a 30-day guided journal workbook. So guided means that I prompt you with questions to make you think, to make you just really focus on what you're doing. And each one, for instance, like I'll start with day one. So with day one, a way to have your personal journey of peace, it's gratitude. So then I explain what gratitude is: the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness, right? So then I give gratitude and what it does. It allows you to celebrate life on a daily basis, blah, blah, blah. But then I also, before you start doing your work, I talk about the lasting benefits and a lot of things that have health benefits, to say, it's not only to get your peace, and it's not only do this, but let me show you how this benefits you. So then I put a list of benefits. It improves your sleep when you show gratitude. You're less sick. Energy is increased. Goal achievement increases productivity, improves decision-making, deeper relationships, healthier marriages, more resilient, more good feelings, less self-centered, increased self-esteem, more fulfilled, less envious of others, happier being, more thoughtful, enhances humility. So these are some of the benefits of showing gratitude, because people always say, give thanks, show gratitude, but they don't tell people why. So for gratitude, for some people, they might know exactly what it is. This is about doing your work. And I believe as a coach that you got to give somebody some background so they can see, what kind of work I'm doing. So then, the prompt on this one, and it gets deep going through the different parts, but I smiled today or laughed today because, and you fill it in, I was inspired today by, because you want to show your gratitude. The best thing that happened to me today was, my favorite quote is, what act of kindness did somebody show me today? What do I have to look forward to daily? So that's prompting you to really write down, to show where, instead of complaining about what's not happening and what you don't have, let me show you how you can, show gratitude. Instead of giving a total blank and they're sitting there staring at the workbook like, I don't know what to write, I'm going to help you. But then I also, at the end of each chapter, give you space to be creative and write what you want. And I even talk about, what accomplishment am I proud of the most? What makes me feel safe? I am able to help others by. What I like about my job, career, or life's work. Look around the room and list everything you're grateful for. So I'll do that. And then it's just so, if you can kind of see, like it gives you spaces to kind of write everything out. And what I do is never for just women. Maybe I'll do a book one day just for women, but I really want to stress that men show gratitude too. Men need self-improvement too. So it's not just to women, and sometimes men think like this work is for women, and I'm like, So I even do like self-contracts and different things like that. So you really do the work. So I started this, like I said before, like I talk about, I do the work for me to be better each day. So I said, okay, I'm doing the work and you want to do the work, and we're going to do this work together. And that's how we all heal and grow and become a better community, a better friend, a better family member, a better spouse, a better child, is when we do the work. So That's what this
Yeah,
is.
I love that. And I got something I'm going to talk to you about after we finish here.
Okay.
Because because of what you're doing there. Now let me ask you this. You talked about what made you want to write that, but tell us a little bit about what you take the reader, because it's not even reading, because they are not really reading anything, but what you take the individual that goes through
because no, they're still reading, because they still got to read what stuff is. Like I give that in the beginning and then do the work. But what do I want them to come away with? Empowerment and the audacity to be better. Have the audacity to live your best life and to be better.
Wow.
Sometimes that's not instilled in us as a community.
Right.
You know, and I want you to have the audacity and the birthright to be the best person you can be. So that's what I want them to take away with. You know what? I'm pretty dope. I got this. I can do this. I can do the work. You know, feel better about yourself.
And here's the thing: a lot of us don't think that we deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. They don't realize that's our birthright. Yeah. Other nationalities sometimes instill that. And sometimes when you're dealing with, you know, certain communities and the parents are just about working one job, two job, three job, they got the hustle and bustle. Sometimes they want to be intentional and give that to their children, but sometimes they're tired or they're doing this or doing that, and they don't have that energy to do that. And it's no harm, no foul, you know, that's not on purpose, but sometimes, you know, children are not told that. You know, so then they become adults who don't know that. Because if you're not told that as a child and as an adult, you don't know that.
Correct. That's absolutely correct. And there's been far too many of us that haven't been told that. You know what I'm saying? So so I definitely appreciate you for being that person that taps them on the shoulder.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, I like the way you put that. You know what? You're pretty dope.
You're pretty dope. Like, why are you sitting over here acting ordinary when you extraordinary? Like, come on, get it together.
All right, Miss Elanya Van Zandt Jr. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the bootleg. I love it. It's so funny because, you know, people would say that to me. And then even when I was a teenager and I was going to school for journalism, like, God is just awesome, because I was going to school I thought about being a teacher, right? And my teachers and my family was like, they don't make no money, right? So I've always been into social work and professional work, but I've also, people don't know about me, like I've been in journalism since I was like 16. And the Jerry Lewis telethon, I worked the cameras. You remember the Jerry Lewis
See what I tell you? See, y'all? See, she got a story for everything. And
I worked
the camera. How many people y'all know worked the camera for the Jerry Lewis telethon?
I did.
I did, y'all.
If you didn't know I was 50, you know now. And because I'm from Jersey, and they would have the telethons every single year in Atlantic City, filming from Atlantic City, New Jersey. And in my high school, I was part of the elite. I was the only Black person in my entire school doing the cameras for that. And then we had a sister school where I met Mushan Lee, and we became friends, went to the prom together and all that. And a lot of people know him from Slide from the Cosby Show, and Potomac River Falls on Lean On Me. Remember the one that got the girl pregnant? Him.
Yeah.
And Lean On Me. Yeah, I met him there because we were both kind of artsy into this, you know, as he went on to do his acting and everything. And I met him there, and we became fast friends doing that. But I say all that to say, and this is encouragement for people, you're always on the path that you're supposed to be on. So isn't it amazing that teaching, I work with kids during the day, and like I always say, adults at night. So think about, I do teaching, I do forms of social work, my degrees in human services, and I use my communications and journalism to bring the content that I'm talking about to you. So sometimes when you think something is lost, God is preparing you every step of the way to be in the space that you're supposed to be in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we don't always understand it, but he knows the plan that he has for you, even before we were in our mother's belly, as he tells us. You know. So, all right. I want to know, what does the title, My Personal Journey of Peace, mean to you?
My personal journey of peace is that journey, peace is not really a place that you get to in this magical world, in this magical place. Oh, I've arrived at peace. You know, it's a journey. Like, it's not like put your suitcases down, we at peace. Let's come on, let's celebrate because we're at peace. Every single day of your life, somebody is going to challenge your peace, right? And it's a journey. Sometimes you're going to be the one that bring the ruckus and you ain't bringing the peace, right? Sometimes it's you that ain't so peaceful. So the journey of peace is you being on this continuous journey in life, trying to get to this peace. And sometimes you're not going to be peaceful. Sometimes the people around you are not going to produce peace. And people always say, I'm protecting my peace. But then you also have to look within. Are you the one bringing the ruckus?
Wow.
And are you the one that's not peaceful in the room? Because you talk about protecting your peace. Are you protecting it from yourself? And everybody comes to the point where it's like they show up to the room not peaceful, right? So it's about growth. It's about healing. It's about that journey. Because ultimately, you want to go through that journey of peace. So when you get to the point where nobody can shake you, nobody can move you, no one can take that peace from you, it's a process. And that's why it's important to do your self-work.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to. And that's the only way that you get to it. Now, I want you to give, we're starting off 2022. We're not even 10 days into 2022 now. So can you give us 3 keys to having peace in 2022?
Number 1, intentionality. You got to be intentional about wanting your peace and having your peace and committed to that peace. Number 2 is boundaries. You got to set boundaries to have your peace. And sometimes that's not talking to certain people, not doing certain things, making sure that you have that boundary up, like, not today. And third is, I would say, God. Like, sometimes you have to give it to God. You do your work because he wants to see you do your work and your self-work. But sometimes if you're challenged or having a hard time and you're doing the work, then if you believe, seek God. And then I would say within that too, meditate. And I'm not saying that because I'm a meditation practitioner, but meditation is a form of stillness. And sometimes you have to still your mind to really get that peace. You have to stop the chitter chatter that's going on in your head and in your body, and all your thoughts and anxieties or whatever it is, and really be still for a moment. So those are my 3 keys.
Wow. I like that. Now, is this journey, and I know your story. So to see you smiling and to talk about this journey of peace, what it means to you. Can you talk about how important that is for someone who is looking for peace? Because there may be people that are looking for peace and don't understand how to even begin to even get there.
First and foremost, you have to really know that you deserve peace. And a lot of people don't know that, especially if their life has been chaotic their whole life, right? And some people thrive on noise and drama and stuff and happenings and this and that. So some people don't even know that they can seek peace because they like all the confusion, right?
Yeah.
But you can't think, just like you can't find something in a confused house, in a cluttered house, you're looking, you can't find really what you need if your mind is cluttered, if your things are around you. So you have to kind of reevaluate and reorganize your life. So some people don't know what peace is or know how to get it. But the first thing with anything is you have to say, have the choice to say, you know what, I want peace in my life. Whatever this is, it's not working for me anymore. And then, you know, seek a life coach such as myself or a counselor or therapist or whoever, just to kind of weed out all of the other things that are going on that's stopping you from getting your peace. But I would tell, you know, everybody they're worth it. If peace is something that you want to seek, then you're going to have to reorganize your life. And in reorganizing your life, it's removing people out of your life and changing maybe how you've been for 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years. It's about really reorganizing and sitting down like, I can have peace. Let me figure out what that is, you know?
Yeah, and I love that. I love that. I love it. Now, what advice would you give to an aspiring writer, author who wants to tell their story, and wants to put together, like you, put together these pieces for people to be able to help them walk through what they're going to walk through, or just telling a good story, or having just in mind of how they want to take someone on this journey. Because I always say that writing and writing a book is taking, so you're taking someone through a journey, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, you're walking someone through something. So how do you, what advice would you give to an aspiring author that wants to take someone on a journey?
Well, one of my favorite workshops that I give and I created, it's called Write That Book. And that's a workshop that a lot of people attend. That's one of my most famous, and I say famous lightly, but most popular workshops that I do. And I've been doing them virtually and I do them in person, but it's called Write That Book, you know? And I help, it's just so
you just gonna take my title. How you just gonna take my title, man? How you just gonna take my title?
You got that title? That's been part of my work. I've been doing that workshop. Really? I've been doing that workshop for
it's funny. Mine is write
that
book, the book that's inside you, but it's write that book that's inside of you, right? How to write your book in 90 days.
And the work, and I've been doing that workshop, I guess, maybe 6 years, 7 years for people. And it's so rewarding to see people like move from A to Z. So I really started that because when people would always find out I was an author, and somehow, like, I don't walk around saying it. A lot of people know me for years and be like, you got a book out? I was in this group for church, and I was trying to just be, you know, Kendell, not Kendell Lenice. I was trying to be Kendell. So I'm just sitting there following the stuff, and we're talking about all kind of stuff. And even when I sent an email out, I would erase all of my book stuff, like everything, because I just wanted to be Kendell. Like I wanted to be on the same playing field as everybody, right? But one time I sent an email reply from my phone, and it had my book on there. And the lady that I was in the class with 8 weeks, she was like, "You didn't tell us you were an author?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "I saw it." And I was like, "Oh," she said, "This is the first email I saw," because I was cognizant and I was trying to erase it because I just wanted to be, you know, in the group and learn like what everybody was learning. So I say all that to say I don't tell people, but when people find out I'm an author, they always say, "I always wanted to write a book," and I'll be like, "Well, what's going on? Why haven't you written it?" So what I would encourage people to do is really write that book. If you feel this burning desire to share your story, know that people are interested, and know that you will help people through your story or the words that you decide to write. Even if it's not autobiographical. Yeah. But it's something that you feel will help people, or even if it's a story or a novel that you feel like it's going to challenge people or bring awareness to something, or whatever that story is that you have inside of you. The first step is always, in my workshops, I say, write the title. Even if you don't write nothing else, write a title. And it's a working title, so it doesn't mean it has to stay that way. But then start describing yourself and referring to yourself as a writer or an author. Even if this is your first time, you ain't published a book, you start telling yourself that you're an author. Then you start with the first chapter, 1 sentence, 2 sentences, 3 sentences. This is the stuff that I talk about in my workshops. So then you're empowered. I'm an author, so now you want to stand behind that. So you're going to start writing. Come up with a title. Well, I don't know what the title. It's called a working title. We can fix it, change it later. Just have something on a piece of paper to do that. So I would just really encourage you, if you want to write a book, you can write the book. You have what it takes. Don't doubt yourself. Know the power that you have within you. And yes, somebody wants to hear it, because that's the biggest question. Well, somebody even want to hear it? Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So what's next? Which I know you said you're working on something. So what's next? What you got for 2022?
Because I want to open the doors to a place called Be Healed. That's something that I'm claiming, BEE, healed. B, because B stand for personal power. It stands for community, and it stands for brightness, right? Bees symbolize a lot. So go research bees and see some of the things that they symbolize. So it's Be Healed, because I want to see everyone healed. A lot of things that people go through come from unresolved issues from childhood. So you have all these adults walking around in childhood bodies, and their development is arrested. So whatever happened at this age as a child, that's kind of where you are. Sometimes emotionally, sometimes spiritually, sometimes physically. That's where you are. And I don't care. This is not for perfect people. So if you're perfect out there, you might want to turn the channel, do whatever, because this ain't me. I ain't talking to y'all. I'm talking about the people who have been through some things. And this is the thing. When somebody says that they need to heal, it's not because it's rape or molestation or murder, or it doesn't have to be those big T's, because those are called big T's when it comes to trauma. Little T's could be, you need heal from a relationship that didn't work, or a friendship that didn't work out, or you saw, your mom kissing Santa Claus and now you traumatized, or whatever it is that you needed to be healed from, right? Healing is relative to who you're talking to. So you can't say, you'd be like, you need to heal from that. I've been through that. It's not about that. It's their personal healing, whatever that is. So I'm writing a book about healing right now. That's what I'm currently working on. And also going back to my novel chops, and I'm also writing a novel, as well as I already have a children's book written. I had an illustrator. She took my money and I ain't never heard from her again. But yeah, so that would have been out. But by God's design, it will be out this year. But that's already written, the children's book, because I work with children every day. But even prior to that, I've always been a kid magnet. I always say kids and old people love me to pieces. I'm everybody's granddaughter, and I'm everybody's little additional mom or auntie or somebody. So I love children. So it's important for me to have that children's book out. So the healing book, a novel, and I can give you a hint of the novel will be talking about some of the things that happened in 2020 and COVID. It's a love story.
Oh, okay. Go on now.
Yeah.
I see you.
It's a love story.
Now you gotta give the folks your contact information, how they can purchase the book, how they can connect with you if they want to have you be a speaker, at one of the events in 2022, whether it's virtual or in person. Hopefully it ain't in person yet. You know what I'm saying? But how can folks connect with you?
Thank you. I'm glad you asked, and I'm definitely booking for 2022 and 2023 speaking engagements. If you're virtually or in person, I am here for it, to uplift, to inspire, to encourage, and also to get the word out about colon cancer awareness. March is colon cancer awareness month. So my goal is to be booked on every platform out there, whether it's news, talk show, podcast. That's my goal, to be booked in March, getting the word out about colon cancer. Now, everything else I do, I want to be booked throughout the year, but in March, I really want to be booked talking about that. That is my goal. So whoever's watching, even Leroy, get the word out. if you know people, they have platforms, tell them to book me because it's important, especially in the Black community. People are dying of colon cancer that don't have to die. I am a colon cancer survivor. I had stage 2 carcinoma of the descending colon just in March, 11 months ago. Just 11 months ago. When I think about how God saved my life and the prayers of everybody saved my life. They didn't even know what I was going through, but they knew I was going through surgery. I had to get surgery in a week and a half. I didn't have any symptoms. 7 out of 10 people do not have symptoms of colon cancer. I use my platform. I got like 42,000 people over on TikTok. This 50-year-old is not for kids, but so many people reach out to me on TikTok asking me to share my story or thank me, and they're telling me about them, just getting the diagnosis of colon cancer, or their mother had it or survived, or their father, their uncle. People are opening the floodgates, to talk about this. People are like, well, what happened? What are your symptoms? Aha, I had no symptoms. Well, what do you mean? Get your colonoscopy. When do I have to get it? So I'm opening up that dialogue, and I'm so thankful and grateful to God that he gave it to me and saved my life, because I do believe it's my duty to inform people, especially my people. I love my people, and we're dying, because of that. You can get my books on Amazon.com. All of them are there. If you can't find a book, just search my name, Kendell Lenice, Kendell. Oh, my whole name ain't on there. It got chopped off some kind of way. But Kendell Lenice, Kendellenice. And for more information about me, go to livingtrue.com or KendellLenice.com. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Kendell Lenice. Usually it's right there, so I'm not sure. It must have got deleted or something.
Yeah, I don't know how I cut off the latter part of the name and everything like that. But
it's all good.
Check out her YouTube channel as well. She has
please
some fantastic
subscribe.
content on there, and we have some fun. And we'll be back. We coming back, y'all. We'll be back next week with our show. No, I'm sitting here trying to think of the name.
Yes.
Oh my God. But anyway, when you hear someone say, "I don't look like what I've been through," this is the true example of that. Like she said, it is not even. It will be a year, 1 year in March.
What has it been? 10 months? What's that?
10 you said 10, 11. It's been 10, 11 months now. 10 months, yeah, because you got two more to March. But to arbitrarily go to your doctor for routine checkup and find yourself a week and a half later having to have colon cancer surgery. You want to talk about a whirlwind, and you wouldn't even think that to see her today, to see that smile, that beautiful smile that she has, the peace that she has. So she ain't just telling y'all about peace. She's had to walk in that peace. She's had to hold that peace. She's had to hold on to it for everything that she's had, that she's got. Trust and believe. When she talks about the journey to peace, the journey of peace, that's what she's talking about. She ain't just giving y'all something to just say. This is something that she's had to walk through, and she wants other people. And that's what I love about it. She wants other people to be able to walk that same peace and to have that same peace, and to understand that you, like she said, you have a birthright to have it. You have a birthright to have it. And many of us don't understand that. But she's here to be able to assist those who don't necessarily understand what you should have. She's here to assist you to be able to understand it and to be able to get to it. Because people have to understand they don't know how to get to it. She's there to help you to be able to get to it. So, Kendell, girl, it's been, we could talk, but it has been just absolutely phenomenal to have this conversation, because our conversations are usually on the other end, talking about movies and everything like that. But it's good for for me. I enjoyed this so much to be able to talk to you this way and to hear, not just hear, because I hear it in your voice, but I see it. I'm sitting here watching you talk about the journal, talk about all those things, and just how glowing and how excited you are about talking about that, talking about these things. And I can see that it excites you. And I love that. I love that. I love this, love seeing you being smiling and being happy about walking in that. And I'm just excited for what 2022 has in store for you, and is yet to do. We're just 10 days in, but what is yet to come in 2022 for you. So give everybody your contact information one more time if you can, so that people can connect with you. Okay.
Okay. You all can follow me on social media everywhere: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at Kendell Lenice, KendellLenice. For more information about me, if you want to book your free consultation, your coaching consultation, or choose me as your life coach, livingtruelivingyou.com. Also, you can check me out at KendellLenice.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll see
Y'all
me
better go on over there to that
50
YouTube channel.
times. But please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The content is about education, elevation, and entertainment. I have talk shows. I have interviews. I have a vlog on there. I have reviews and news. I have More Than Just a Movie, where we break down classic Black movies with Leroy. I got a lot on there, a lot of great content on there. So definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, you all won't be disappointed. This young lady is doing some absolutely great things, and you want to get that job. I promise you, y'all. 2022, you want to be successful, to do what it is that you want to do. You have to see it. You got to write it, and then you got to work it. And I say that you got to have the vision, but then you got to plan for it. And the journal that she has,
please get it.
Amazon.com. Give you the ability to be able to structure yourself, and then you can actually monitor your progress. You can see the progress that you had, the things that you're doing, the things that you need to work on, things that you're flourishing at, things that you thought that you might not have been able to do. You go back and you start to reflect and look at it. Oh, wow, I did that. I did that. I am kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? So you can begin to do those things. And that's
talk to yourself. Sometimes you want to be the only one there to talk that talk to you.
Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself.
That's right.
That don't depend on anyone else. Encourage yourself. And that's what the journals that Kendell has, that's what they can do for you. They can give you the structure that you need, and then give you the ability to implement, what it is that you want to achieve, so that you can be better by the end of 2022 than you were at the beginning of 2022. Because that's always my goal, is to make people better by the end of the year than they were at the beginning of the year. So, and it's building season, y'all. It's building season. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Author Showcase, brought to you by the National Black Community News. Go to our website, www.tnbun.com. You can actually check out other great interviews that we have from other great authors that are part of the showcase on our YouTube channel. And that's the National Black Community News YouTube channel as well. Check all of the other interviews out that are on there as well. I promise you won't be disappointed. This is 2022, y'all, and it's building season. What are you building in 2022? It's your boy. We'll see y'all next time.